Joel, Warrior Nation, what is going on? We are here, and we are in episode 4. Um, adjusting to some things. Anywho, we've got 2 special guests for you today. Tried to get you Mr. Clarenbach last week, and things just didn't line up for us. So we have the interview, but we didn't know that was actually playing for us. So apologies for you there. But anyway, we've got Mrs. Knudtson coming on first, and then we'll end the show with Mr. Clarenbach. Python on the loose and Fondy High.
I'm not there.
Stay tuned. What happened during week 2 of preseason? We officially kick off week 1 of the play versus regular season today with Street Fighter action, as they will be facing Columbus, not Wisconsin, Mississippi. Hey, Mississippi. Tomorrow, we have our Smash team facing Wichita. The people trained don't run out of Wichita unless you're a hog or cattle. If you know the movie, you know the movie. And, ending the week, we got some Rocket League. As they'll beat Omaha.
Nebraska.
Omaha.
Can we just get to the podcast?
we are eagerly awaiting our opponents, and we looking forward to another season here in Waupun. Joel, I know you are eager to get the ball rolling, so to speak, with the Rocket League. Another good showing from you guys last week, and honestly, I loved what I saw. I mean, you don't like the end result, but
we fought until the very end. And that's what I love about this team.
Yeah, absolutely. Game 5. We even had
this is going into overtime in Game 7 of the NBA Finals.
Yeah. So honestly, I was very pleased with what I saw. You guys were working great together. Communication was the best. And so, yeah, I'm eagerly awaiting what we got going for us here in week 1. And shout out to our sponsors before we get going here. Ian's Pressure Washing, Oddball Arts, Go Dutch Solutions, All Phase Heating and Cooling, and Gutter Tech LLC. So yeah, we have 2 interviews today for you. So we're going to get to Mrs. Knudtson first, and then we'll come back, talk a little bit, and then get back into the interviews with Mr. Clarenbach, and then, we'll end the show. So yeah, here we go. We got Mrs. Knudtson. Hello, Warrior Nation. We are back once again with Mrs. Knudtson. What do you teach, Mrs. Knudtson?
I teach English 9 and English 10.
All right. And what inspired you to teach?
Oh, man. Well, I kind of had a rough situation when I was in high school. So I had a lot of teachers that really kind of helped me through that. And primarily my English teachers, and I really like writing. So I thought that would be a good, appropriate career for me.
Very well. Yeah, I told Mr. Clarenbach, who you guys are going to hear later, I came down a really weird path to get here as well. Thought I was going to go for webpage design after high school, and didn't work out. And so here I am.
I initially wanted to be an art teacher, and then taking a step back and looking at some of my old artwork, it's probably good I didn't. So
hey, fair criticisms. Where are you from?
I'm from Fond du Lac.
Okay. And then you also taught in Fond du Lac. Who does Homecoming Spirit Week better?
That's really hard because I think Fond du Lac has a whole spirit committee, and it is a large spirit committee, and there are teachers. It's an advisor position. So with a school of over 2,000, I would say it's grander as far as it's on the large scale, but I like Waupun's homecoming. I don't think it's over the top also, which I like. It's not, I feel like teaching, it wasn't nearly as crazy trying to teach during homecoming week either. So I appreciate that students are respectful still, the fact that they have to learn. So
yeah, I thought, I wanted to compare a little bit because, we have a different homecoming this week or this year rather. I actually had a program during the assembly there where we had Mario Kart races, so it's kind of cool to have that and just kind of give us something to talk about. Speaking of teaching, can you elaborate on your teaching award that you received?
Oh, in 2022, I won the Wisconsin Educators Excellence Award. I might be getting that wrong. I'd have to read the plaques in my room still. But I won it for social emotional, so forming relationships with students and really caring about what I do. I actually wasn't going to write an essay for the nomination because I knew I was going to have to go up on stage in front of a bunch of people, and then it was streamed on the news, so it was a lot, but I did it, and I'm actually really proud I did it. So
yeah, absolutely, that's awesome.
It was terrifying though, because I was walking down the auditorium. It was at Kiel High School, and I thought, oh my God, I'm gonna fall in front of everybody. I didn't, but
well, that's good. I was going to follow up with it. Did you fall? Okay. So we also learned that you enjoy up north, going up north rather. Yep. How far north do you have to go to be considered up north?
Well, my grandma retired, and she lives 7 months in Florida, 3 months up north. She lives about 20 minutes out of Waupun, so it's pretty far up there. Yeah, it's very small, but I really like it. She lives on the lake, so it's just very peaceful, which I appreciate, especially in the summer. I need a little time to relax.
For sure. Is that like what you would consider the best part of up north, northern Wisconsin? Is just like the peacefulness and kind of being out there pretty much by yourself almost?
Yeah, I actually we have really it's a really clean spring fed lake, which is nice. It's more of a private lake that's used for only the people that are up there and have property on it. Sure. So there's not a lot of people. I enjoy floating on the lake and like my inner tube. I'm living my best life.
Yes.
I don't really participate in any sort of hunting or anything like that, just for no other reason than it's not my thing. Sure. So I just really like the quiet, reading out on the deck.
I like it. Yeah, yep. Same here. I like chill atmosphere. I'm a chill guy myself. On a more serious note, though, Mrs. Knudtson, you're a stroke survivor. Yeah. Can you please explain what happened?
So I was pretty stressed out my last couple of years at Fondy, and I was teaching 4 different classes. 2 of them were new to me. We had adopted a new curriculum program at Fondy. It was the second one within 2 years, so it was very stressful. About 5 of my department members were some of my ride or die people left, so things just got really overwhelming, and I was working with some new teachers, and it just became a lot. And so what happened, and I didn't even realize it was happening, and I started having migraines here and there, which I used to have when I was young, and then I've gotten them on and off, and I thought, oh, they're just stress headaches. Well, on December 26th, I ended up waking up. I had a really bad headache, and I just remember feeling like the floor went out. And then my balance just felt like it was tipped. So I thought, oh, I have a migraine. Maybe it's behind my eyes. So I stayed like that. I was in bed for about 2 days, just being sick. It's not glamorous, but I was throwing up a lot because honestly, the balance situation, I've never had that happen before. And then the morning of the 28th, I woke up and I went, oh my gosh, my side is numb and tingly. So I was like, I think I need to go to the ER. So my husband remembers that they always do a stroke test where they have you hold your arms out and your legs out and stuff. And he said the scariest thing about it was me holding my arms out straight in front of me, and he was just watched my left one sink. So it was really scary. I had to go through MRIs and CT scans and everything. I spent until the 3rd in the hospital, and then I was off of work for 6 weeks. So
man,
I was definitely pretty young to have that happen.
Yeah, and I mean, just myself, I'm married as myself, so kind of hearing that is a husband, it'd be terrifying to have your significant other being in that situation. So I could just imagine how he was feeling at that time. kind of on a chill subject now after
Yeah.
that. What is your favorite music genre?
I don't know that I have a favorite genre specifically. I guess if I could say, it's between two because I still really like listening to pop punk / punk of my past, but I also really like listening to hip hop.
All right, yeah.
I like to put on some gangster rap
All
and
right.
things, especially when I'm grading. Like DMX
Yeah.
gets the aggression out
Hey,
a
high
little
five.
bit. Yeah.
Yes.
DMX definitely gets some aggression out as I'm grading and things are wrong. And then,
Yes.
there's always the y'all gonna make me lose my
Yeah.
mind up in here, right? I
Yeah.
teach the freshmen, so I feel like that's a pretty good
Yeah.
motto. So
Oh man. That's awesome. Yep, same here. Like I, enjoy all kinds of, but can definitely relate to some DMX. Um, learned that you've attended quite a few concerts in your time.
yep.
A little jealous of the Warp Tours, which, if you're not familiar, which kind of consists of like Offspring, My Chemical Romance, Avenged Sevenfold, which jealous right there. Fall Out Boy, Atreyu, one of those. All American Rejects, Dropkick Murphys, to give you an example. So of all that could possibly imagine seeing, who sounded the best live?
Oh man, I will say that I have been following All American Rejects since the very beginning when I saw them at the rave, and they were really good. They're really good live. But I also will say I saw the Transplants as well,
Okay.
and I really like Tim Armstrong. I don't want to say like I have a musical crush, if you will, but I kind of did. So he was, the Transplants were awesome too. It was just cool to see a band on a larger scale. And also Tsunami Bomb was really good. So yeah, I mean, I really just had a good time. It's hard for me to pick because I feel like everybody really brought their A game
Mm-hmm.
because the overall like concert, like everybody's there for the same reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Warp Tour is one of those really cool things where everyone is just so like united around alternative music,
Yep.
which you don't always see. So I really appreciated that. So I really, it's hard to pick.
So, other than the Warp Tour shows that you've gone to, is there like one concert that you are like, wow, I am glad that I went and saw that?
I definitely went to Real Big Fish. That
Okay.
was a really fun concert. I've seen
Yep.
them a couple of times and I regret nothing. They
Good.
were just a really good show as well.
Yep.
And I did see Flogging Molly, and that was a
All
really,
right. Yes.
really good time. And I think just being a part of that atmosphere was great as
Sure.
well.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Ben over here is a little jealous. Not gonna lie. So something that I can really relate to. Fun fact for those listening: I spent my like the senior year of my high school and a few years of college working at a video store. So this next question rather is: if we were to go back in time to when there were video stores, Joel, can you give us 5 movies to watch, and then we'll follow up with that after that.
Okay, so I've been watching movies for a really long time, obviously.
Yeah.
So I have a couple. I really like the animated version of The Hobbit.
Okay.
Not a lot of people like it, but the reason that, okay, I'm going to say this, Peter Jackson did The Hobbit dirty because I
Ooh.
don't know how you can have like 3 movies on the Lord of the Rings with 3 books, but then split the Hobbit, which is 1 book, into 3. It was terrible. I'll watch them, but I really like the animated version because they included some of the songs in the books too, which I appreciate, and it wasn't like in a corny way.
Sure.
I really like The Sword and the Stone, which is an old Disney movie,
Yes.
and
Classic.
I always say like Madam Mim is my Disney princess.
I can get down with
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Let's see here. Jurassic Park, classic, really like it. And Dawn of the Dead, but the remake, I also
With
really like that too.
with Ving, whatever.
Yeah,
Rhames.
Ving Rhames.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good.
And Zack Snyder is the one who made it. I really, really like that movie because suddenly it's like, oh yeah, they're zombies, but they run and they'll tear your face off. So it's scary.
For sure.
And then let's see here. I really like Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet. I know some of my students aren't a super big fan of me showing that movie, but I will anyways. It's the one with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay.
I just think it's cool because it's the 90s,
Yeah.
which is kind of my time, right?
Yeah.
And so I really like it. I like that it's the old school language with the music from the 90s too. So I think those are my 5. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not a math teacher.
That's okay. Neither am I, and I wouldn't be good if I were, if I were to try it. So, so speaking of Joel, young lad here, what's a movie that you would recommend this generation watch?
Oh man, that's a tough question.
So I'll give you a reference here. So last week when we had Mr. Clarenbach on, he went with Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. So this could be, this could be however you want it, whether it be serious or a comedy like that. But one that they have to watch to like explain time. It could be like a time capsule of what life was before them.
So the one that's sticking in my head the most is Clerks.
Yes.
I love Clerks so much. The whole I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Yeah.
Like I feel just that there's a little bit of surrealness, but I really think that one of the things that Clerks does is just show the hilarity sometimes in the mundane, but that there's also a lot of beauty in the mundane and like things like friendship. And I just really like it. And it's done in such a sardonic and cynical way too.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that movie and the dynamic between Dante and Randall. The second one's way different. I do enjoy the second one too, but it's a little wild, so I don't know that I can endorse that.
For sure. Big Kevin Smith fan. So
yeah,
this is a audio podcast, so you weren't able to see my reaction to the Clerks, but it was a very emphatic one. Yeah, touchdown. Yeah.
I have a Clerks poster that I want to hang up in my room until I realized that there was a very clear drug reference, so I can't be having that hanging in my classroom. But it's a movie poster.
Yes, not school appropriate, but it definitely what she was saying. Definitely reiterate. Gaming. So we are a gaming club. This is kind of a gaming podcast. There's some pop culture stuff in there, but favorite games of all time.
So initially when you asked me, I was like, well, I don't play any games anymore, which makes me really sad, honestly. But I will say OG Final Fantasy VII, I am one of the biggest fans. Haven't played the remake. Don't think I will. I don't even like Kingdom Hearts. Like, I'm a quote-unquote purist. I don't think Disney and Final Fantasy belong together, and I will stand on that. But I started playing it when I was in middle school, and I really liked it. I really liked reading it at the time too. So it's like, oh, cool! It's a video game I can read. I also really like the Suikoden series, Xenogears, like that a lot too. Just being able to spend and immerse yourself in a game.
For sure.
I'm not really an action adventure type of person because it makes me anxious if I know I can die right away. Like Mario, that gives me an impending sense of doom. I can't really get over that, I guess.
So, current game, it could be a mobile game or even like, is there anything that you're playing?
I really hate the fact that some of my students got me hooked on Black Blast last year, even though that's not really, but I don't know. I had to actually step away from it and delete it off my phone. And then I found on Christmas break last year, I downloaded again and I needed to take it off my phone another time. I haven't played it. I probably won't ever again, but it is the biggest time suck ever. But I mean, I really liked it. It's just terrible.
System of choice.
Definitely PlayStation 2.
Yes. Well, PlayStation, whatever.
Yeah, so the original.
That's okay. So for those listening, and for Mrs. Knudtson, Joel is Xbox and I am PlayStation. I think we're at 2-2? 2-1?
Yeah. I thought it was 2.
Oh yeah, you're right, Mr. Coot on Xbox. Anyway, so I guess he still got the lead, but I'm getting traction, and we still got like at least one more guest appearance here. So there's possibility I might win this battle here. Um, Earlier we learned that you teach ELA. Hot take question for you: are all books better than any? Are all movies that are based on the books, are they better? Or I'm trying to think of how to word this question. Are the books that are based on or the movies that are based on the books, rather, are they as good, or are they even like in the ballpark of being good? Trying to think of how to reiterate this question. So we learned that you enjoy the books and the movies and such. So are they all on the same page? Or are they? Yeah, no pun intended there. Um, are they? Is there one that's like just god awful? I mean, you said earlier The Hobbit. Is there any other ones that you are like displeased with?
Well, I can say this. I feel like there's room for both. I don't think that I can see filmmaking is just as much of an art form
Sure.
as writing.
Yeah.
And I am someone who doesn't get super indignant about things unless I have really a big personal investment in the book. But even then, I tried to make it, I try to be reasonable about it. Like, for example, The Hobbit, I felt like I was reasonable, right? But I will say, like, The Lord of the Rings, I really enjoyed the books, but I also really loved the movies because I think Peter Jackson did a phenomenal job. I will also say, though, like, I don't know that the Harry Potter movies 100% like capture everything that's in the book, but also it was really cool to see the world come alive.
Sure.
So I can appreciate that too. I don't really, I feel like it's not just one thing.
Sure.
I think you have to keep in mind that there are differences. And while, if there's something that you hold so near and dear to your heart, then necessarily like not wanting to watch the movie is okay if you
Yeah.
don't want it to be ruined, or vice versa.
Sure. Are there any like movies that were based on the book that are just don't even like bother with that you know of? Like the ones that maybe are just like that's not even close to what the book was like.
Um, I can't really think of any right now.
It's fair.
I really can't. I think that they're all pretty good. I mean, there are some definite differences. Okay,
Sure.
so I read Annihilation,
Okay.
which is a book by Alex Garland. Well, Alex Garland did the screenplay, and I saw the movie first. And that movie is terrifying to me. Alex Garland's just kind of an amazing director to begin with. Very like kind of screws with your mind a little bit.
Okay.
But I read Annihilation after, and it's a really like well-received book, but I didn't like it because I saw the movie first, and I think that the book is a lot more conceptual.
Fair enough. So before we let you go, Snake on the Loose and Fondy High.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I really don't like snakes.
Me either.
Not at all. Like, I will say I am the resident like bug smasher in the house and everything, but if it was a snake, I'd be done. So I was putting my classroom together in the beginning of the year, and a custodian came by, and it was like after 3:30, and he goes, "Did you hear about the snake that's loose?" And I said, "Excuse me." I actually said more than just "excuse me," but we'll say "excuse me" for a high school podcast. And he said, "Yeah, it's just in the building. No one knows where it is." And I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "The python." And I'm like, "What?" Of course, I'm thinking this thing is huge, right? I mean, because wouldn't you? I mean, I'm thinking it's like anaconda size,
Yeah.
And so we started school knowing that thing was in the building loose somewhere. And I kept picturing being in my room and like having it curl around my ankles
Oh no.
or come down from one of the vents. amount of ridiculousness that I put myself through was ridiculous. I mean, it was ridiculous, frankly, because I'm like, you have no reason. That there was a Saturday that they were going to turn the heat up in the building, and everyone was going to go up in the roof and have like a snake hunting party. And I was asked to go, and I was like, "Are you serious right now? No, I'm not going to do that." They ended up then, like on Sunday, I think, finding it, and it was curled around a lab table, and like where the legs meet the top of the table.
Sure.
And there was like a little corner, and they found it, and she had to take the snake home. But I don't know that I'm a fan of pets in science classes for that reason.
Yeah, no. I can't do snakes. And quite honestly, like when I'm mowing the lawn and a gardener or a garter snake, whatever, outside of our somewhat long grass at the time, it's like, nope, I'm done for now. I'll come back later.
It's terrifying.
I can relate there. No snakes, no spiders, nothing. So no, nothing against you there, Mrs. Knudtson. But hey, thank you for stopping by. We learned quite a bit about you, more than I knew before, and I think I found a new friend in the building here because we can relate to the clerks and the music for sure. So absolutely, it was a pleasure having you in, and I hope our listeners have learned quite a few things about you as well. So
thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for sharing that personal story about your stroke. And I'm glad you're okay now. And, I know Joel and I both appreciate hearing that. I'm sure our listening audience as well. That's been the whole goal of this whole podcast, really, especially bringing on guests, is to learn about the special people that work in this building. And I'm sure it wasn't easy times back then. And I'm glad you're okay now. And yeah,
absolutely. It takes courage and really guts to share a personal story like that, especially with the trauma caused with it. So, I mean, major props to Mrs. Knudtson for being able to step up and tell us about that.
And she's got a great taste of music there, and especially movies, Joel. So that was really cool to hear. Kind of moving along. We got another interview coming up, but before we get to Mr. Clarenbach, hey, the Super Bowl 60 happened this past weekend, and congratulations to Seattle for winning. That's the team that I picked, and thoughts on the game. I thought it was a snooze fest, honestly, but kind of knew going in that it could be possibly a low-scoring game just based on the two defenses, especially Seattle.
Yeah,
they played so well in the season, and then even in the playoffs, it's like they look shut down. So really wasn't surprised that we saw what we saw.
By the time I saw Seattle win over the 49ers by like at least 40 points, I was like, yeah, it's over. Yeah. GG's, they're just winning.
Best commercial, I went with, it was a toss-up, honestly. I thought the Goodwill Duncan commercial with Ben Affleck and the cast of 90s characters was really good. Really enjoyed that one. That was a nice little throwback. Also enjoyed the Uber Eats commercial with Matthew McConaughey and Bradley Cooper. I thought that was awesome. The old comparison of the juicer with the NFL Hall of Fame, which I recommend Joel checking out in Ohio someday. What did you think of what was your best commercial?
My best commercial, just for the message and what I can remember, because my dad changes the channel whenever there's a commercial. But the one I remembered that stuck with me most was the anti-Semitism. I can never say the word right. Basically, just
pretty close.
Yeah, just the message was great. Especially now that it seems like it's coming back into like public eye a little bit. It's good to just muffle it while it's almost burned out.
For sure. Then we have the trade deadline pass after Thursday, and who are you thinking? Who's like your favorites now from the East and West for the NBA? Do you have any?
I mean, the top teams are still there because let's be real here. The biggest winners, in my opinion, at the trade deadline were the Jazz and Wizards. But we know they're not going to get a title right now, especially AD, because he got to Washington and was like, all right, I'm not playing this season anymore. So, I mean, and the Jazz are just so buried in losses that it's lost at this point. But they can still perform great next year. So, That's my opinion. Pistons are still very high. Hornets have actually gotten up quite a bit, in my opinion. Had a 9-game streak. Then we had round 2 of Malice at the Palace, except it's in Charlotte this time around.
Yeah, I think you kind of jinxed them last week when you said that it'll never happen again after you told me you watched the documentary. So it's kind of like, oh wow.
Yeah, 4 players ejected and a coach.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and I was really surprised by the whole Anthony Davis thing, like him saying, you know what, I'm done now. Like kind of reference back to Mrs. Knudtson's interview with the clerks, and I'm supposed to be here, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, this hurts even more for Mavericks fans, especially me because I used to be a Mavericks fan before they got rid of Luka. And the fact the Dallas Mavericks turned Luka Doncic into Chris Middleton. What are we doing? Even if, fine, AD is regressing, fine, whatever. Just keep him at least. Say you got a superstar out of the trade.
So we're both pretty big Star Wars fans, and we are on episode 4, Joel.
Yep.
Speaking of episode 4, is episode 4 of Star Wars the best one? If not, which is supreme?
Episode 4 is definitely up there for me. I'm a person who likes building stories.
Yep.
So I think, I feel like it's got to be either 2 or 3. I love General Grievous, and he's in both of those movies. 4 is definitely, obviously like the starting point, the foundation of Star Wars in general. Shout out George Lucas, because it's a phenomenal series. Yeah, so for me, it's got to be somewhere between 2, 3, and 4. Just don't watch any of the Disney ones.
All right. Well, like I said, we're going to keep it brief between Joel and I this week because we had 2 interviews this week as our fumble, so to speak, last week.
Drake me.
Yeah. So here we go. We got Mr. Clarenbach for you. He's got some fascinating stuff to tell you, especially about his music
and his Lego
selection.
collection.
Yes, Legos. So I hope you guys enjoy that interview. We'll be back for our ending of the show, and we'll break way to week 1 of play versus spring season. So here we go. All right, and we are here today with a special guest, Mr. Clarenbach. What do you teach here at Waupun Junior Senior High?
Well, first off, thank you for having me on. It was an unexpected surprise, so thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I've been with Waupun for the past 19 years. My title is, I believe, at-risk teacher. However, we offer a variety of online classes for students.
Sure.
But the bulk of my work really comes working with kids who are credit deficient, trying to get them to graduate on time.
Sure. Well, that's amazing. You're doing great work, and it is very important that you graduate kids. So finish your schooling.
Thank you.
What inspired you to teach?
It's an interesting story. So when I first went to college, I wanted to become a police officer, and while taking classes in criminal justice,
Sure.
I figured out I wanted to work with kids or work with people before they entered into the criminal justice arena, so to speak.
Sure.
And decided to go into education instead.
Okay. Yeah. Same thing kind of with mine is like I didn't think that I would be in education, but here I am. It was interesting. I thought, graduate high school, I'll go right to tech school because I had the desire to go for web page design. And then I just kind of figured after a semester and a half that it wasn't mature enough yet. And put it on pause, came back and went for CNA. And then all of a sudden that led to another, medical assistant, and then got into a course with the human body where I couldn't retain the information. Like it was just too much information. So again, put a pause on schooling and went into education eventually. So yeah, we all definitely have different roads how we got here, but it's always fun and fascinating to hear other people's stories.
Well, I think you touch on a great point that a lot of people don't end up in the field that they anticipated, but that's okay.
Yeah,
it's a winding road as long as you're finding the path and you're making headway.
Absolutely. So where are you from?
Well, originally I was born in Minocqua, Wisconsin. However, when I was 1 or 2 years old, we moved to Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, and I've lived there since.
Awesome. I am not a native to Waupun, so I'm Beaver Dam. So, you here and there, you got some faculty that are native here, but it's nice to. Oh, I'm not the only one that's not a native. So, uh, I want to talk today with you about your collection of Lego. Um, I've gone in your room and seen it, and it is amazing. So, what is your favorite build?
I would have to say my favorite build, and this is going to be an answer that's a little cheesy. However, anything that I worked on my daughters with when they were younger. So I always enjoyed building Lego with my girls
Yep.
and just spending time with them overall. So
Yeah, absolutely. That's something that my son and I have started doing, and we've got so many sets, and he has started doing his own sets and whatnot, and he's got so many at this point that we've had to get like little bookshelves and stuff for him. So he takes a lot of pride in his work, and so it's pretty cool to watch him display that. What build has taken you the longest to complete?
that would definitely be the Lord of the Rings Tower of Orthanc, mostly because it was all black pieces. Not all of them, but the great majority of it was just black Lego,
Wow.
and it was difficult to kind of see after a while.
All you see is black.
Yep, I think it took me around 16 hours.
Wow. Yep. I've had a couple sets that have taken probably half that, but I feel you. Do you remember how many pieces that was?
Not off the top of my head.
Probably a lot. If it's
I know
one of
other
those.
people. I know other people could probably finish it a little faster, but I
Oh
wanted
yeah,
to take my time and enjoy myself with that.
for sure. Any sets on your list to buy?
Ooh, if I had unlimited dollar amount,
Yeah, for sure.
there is going to be, I don't believe it's come out yet, but upcoming set, the Lord of the Rings Minas Tirith,
Okay.
which is the giant like castle fortification at the end of the Return of the King. Um, it's going to be a huge set, and it looks really well done.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like you're a big Lord of the Rings fan, so that's awesome.
Yeah, I do. I enjoy it. I've been called a fanboy.
That's okay. Hey, everybody's got their flavor. Um, so, and then yeah, there's so many like sets of Lego, and like it's so expensive, but like you really think about it, like the amount you're paying, usually it's like $1 a piece because like the Death Star. Did you see that one?
The new one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's $1,000, but it's like a ton of pieces, and then you get all these minifigs. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to justify it. But if you really like look at the numbers and stuff, it's kind of where they get their money probably from, or their price point from is kind of like the pieces per dollar. So
You have to really sit down and pick and choose which sets you want to get because
it
you
is.
can't spend all the money on all of them.
I know. So what is your favorite music genre?
So I would have to say currently it is two specific styles of music: power metal and industrial metal.
Power metal.
Yes, power metal is once again I'll use the word. I'll be using this word all during this podcast.
Sure.
But cheesy. It's
Okay.
like fantasy metal. Like there's a Scottish metal, there's pirate heavy metal, and that's all under power metal.
Huh.
Sabaton is a popular one right now.
Sabaton, okay.
Yep. And then industrial metal are two of my favorite genres. And then closely behind that would be your classic new wave of British heavy metal. So Iron Maiden, Judas Priest.
Interesting. I don't think I've ever heard. I mean, I'll definitely be looking it up on Spotify later. Speaking of Spotify, top 5 songs on Spotify. Like, if you were to give me a playlist of like this is Mr. Clarenbach. Like, what do you like? Either artists, songs, or both. Um, like, this is who Mr. Clarenbach is.
So I have a good smat. I was really excited by this question.
Awesome.
So I got a smattering of uh, different genres that I enjoy, but so I would have to say it's called Glory Hammer, and the song is Glory Hammer, and that's Scottish power metal.
Okay.
It's fantasy based.
Sure. I love it.
It's cheesy. Then Judas Priest with a classic heavy metal band from the 70s and 80s and 90s. They released a new album in the last couple of years. One of the songs on there is Invincible Shield. Sabaton is from Sweden, and they are power metal as well. I would have to recommend Price of a Mile. It's quite an emotional song about World War One. And then another one that's not metal. It's called, I believe it's under the genre of world music. Their band is called Dead Can Dance, and the lead singer Lisa Gerard has got a phenomenal voice. And the song would be "Host of Seraphim."
Okay.
And then the final is a band called Die Krupps from Germany, and off their third album, no, well, their album named Three. It is called Alive. So, and they're industrial heavy metal.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow. I never knew this genre of music existed, but you have opened my listening ears, and I will definitely give this a listen later.
Okay.
Okay. Moving on here, movies. Mr. Clarenbach, can you tell me why you don't enjoy the Street Fighter movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme?
I think it wouldn't be overstated to say I have a strong dislike for the Street Fighter film with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Now, I do enjoy Jean-Claude Van Damme films. Shout out
Yes.
to Bloodsport and Kickboxer.
Yes.
I like his films,
Yes.
but this movie, I think, tried to take itself too seriously and didn't really acknowledge that it was going to be, once again, cheesy.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't self-aware.
Well, and I was listening to the podcast Confused Breakfast last summer. They review like older movies, stuff that you like had to go to the video store to get, to rent. Joel, that's kind of a thing in the past now. And they were just kind of talking about like how JCV didn't. I mean, he got paid a ton of money for the movie, and then he was pretty much stricken to his trailer for the most part, and they had to like configure the movie itself so many different times. So it was like a hodgepodge of everything that they had written, throw it away, write it again, and just so what they went to film, it was not the final product. It wasn't meant to be the final product. It was just literally like.
That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I did not know that, but it is not a good film at all.
Yeah.
I have strong opinions.
It's a dollar bin movie, but it's worth a shot. Just give it a view once, and then you probably don't have to view it ever again.
No,
but,
I don't know if I'd say that. I'd say I would probably try to give it away and $1 at the same time, just to get it away from me.
Yeah,
so.
All right, fair enough. Are you going to see the new movie in October?
Yeah,
October 16th to be exact.
I watched the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cautiously optimistic. Excuse me.
For sure.
I do believe that it is going to be cheesy, but it's going to be self-aware cheesy.
Yeah.
Like, I think they know that they're going to go in and be cheesy and do well with it. So I do look forward to that. However, the real question should be, how many people are going to go see the new He-Man film? Oh, and I am very excited.
Yes, that's another one. So I am a fan of cheesy movies. He-Man is another one. He-Man is another one that it was like I don't know, a handful of Christmases ago. That was one of the ones on Blu-ray that I asked for because I just enjoyed it. I mean, it's such 80s, but like it's so good. Like honestly, and I'm a fanboy of it, and so I'm glad you said that. Yeah,
film? Yes.
Yeah.
There's a special place in my heart for that film.
Yep. Absolutely. What's a movie that you would recommend this generation watch?
I would definitely say, and I had to think about this because I enjoy my movies.
Yep.
And something that I think to a certain extent can speak to kids across the generations would be Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Ah, yes.
Pre-Keanu Reeves. This is pre-fame Keanu Reeves.
Yep.
It's just an excellent film. And there is the most excellent quotes in the film. Highly recommend for anybody to just sit down and watch. Your folks might remember it.
For sure. Can't forget the classic Socrates.
Socrates, yep. Look it up in the back. Socrates.
All right. Gaming. Favorite games.
Oh, that was tough for me, but I think top of the line would be there's some games in the late 90s, early 2000s called Thief 1, Thief 2, and Thief 3,
Yep, heard of them.
Red Alert 2,
Yep.
Dishonored 1 and 2,
Okay.
most of the Street Fighter games. And then I would have to say the Elder Scrolls series and Fallout series.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Did you watch the Fallout show on, was it Prime?
I did watch season 1 and I enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm definitely have to like go and stream it.
Definitely for more of a mature audience.
For sure.
So.
Okay. What's a favorite current game or whatever you would maybe playing today? Whether it's mobile or whatever.
Yeah, there's two. Three. So let's do PC. PC would be Magic the Gathering Arena, which is Magic the Gathering, the card game,
for sure,
but on the computer.
Okay.
On the phone, Lords of Waterdeep, which is a Dungeons and Dragons turn-based game.
Mm-hmm.
You take on roles of some of the head honchos of Waterdeep and the Forgotten Realms, and you vie for power. And then, as far as a console, I would have to say Borderlands 4, the from the original loot shooter series.
Mm-hmm. Okay. System of choice?
I enjoy them all. However, right now, Xbox is the one that I've been playing most.
Boo! For those, yes, for those listening, I myself am a PlayStation guy. Will be forever, and Joel is not. He is an Xbox fan, and so yeah, 2-0. All right, all right. So you ran game night when I first started here, and I thought it was so cool. For those of you listening and wondering what that entails, can you give them like a brief description of like what it entails?
Yeah, well, I can give a little history.
Sure.
It actually first started probably my third year teaching, so around 16 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I had some students who just needed something to do on a Friday night, and I introduced them to some board games. They seemed to enjoy it, and it kind of grew from there. And eventually we started getting larger and larger groups. I think the largest group I had for one game night was probably around 60, 65 people.
Wow.
People would come and play card games and board games, and then occasionally some electronic games.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but it was mostly dedicated to the board games and the card games over time. So whatever students wanted to bring or whatever I had available, we would sometimes have pizza and soda. However, since COVID, that's kind of died off.
Sure. Yep.
I've been toying with the idea of bringing it back, but I'm not sure where we're at yet for that.
What's your favorite current card or board game?
My current favorite board game would probably be Terraforming Mars.
Okay, can you give listeners a little bit of description?
It's sort of like Settlers of Catan in space, maybe. Basically, you are a large corporation that is trying to terraform Mars so it's inhabitable, and you can research different projects, pay out cash to fund those projects, and at the end, you just tally up the points and see who has the most terraform rating points. So
wow.
Quite an enjoyable game.
What's your all-time favorite?
All-time favorite would have to be Axis and Allies. Any variation of that board game, which is, as it sounds like, a World War II simulation.
Wow. Are you a fan of Monopoly?
I hesitate to answer. Sometimes it's okay with me, but it's not my favorite go-to board game. So
yeah,
I struggle with it.
It's one that like takes forever, and then nobody's happy after the fact, unless you won.
Yep, yeah, it is a game where nobody is excited except for the person who won.
Absolutely. All right, well, Mr. Clarenbach, I appreciate you coming by and sharing with our listening audience here, who you are, and it's been a pleasure, working with you and everything, and I'm glad that we're able to give the listeners of our podcast here a little more insight on who Mr. Clarenbach is. So thank you for coming by and appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bennett. I appreciate being here.
All right, so thank you to Mr. Clarenbach for last week's interview. Glad we were able to actually get to you this week. We're at 2-1 now with the Xbox and PlayStation. We got at least one more guest for sure with Mr. Price next week. So not gonna be tipping the scales or anything, but we'll see what happens next week with that one. Hopefully, I'm not going down.
No
defeat.
bribery allowed. You cannot pay him to say PlayStation.
Fair enough. All right, so
yeah, I mean, we're going to start wrapping up here because, I mean, this has been 40 minutes of just interviews.
Yeah, so. Right. So we got to get to our game here. So shout out to our sponsors, Ian's Pressure Washing, Audible Arts, Go Dutch Solutions, All Phase Heating and Cooling, and Gutter Tug LLC. We got some week one preseason or week one regular season action for you this week with tomorrow with Smash and Rocket League on Thursday. So enough of us talking. Next week got Mr. Price. Gets to talk. Mr. Price gets to talk pro wrestling. Ooh yeah! So we'll hold off on the plugs because we got stuff to get to with the action here. So we'll catch you next week. Mr. Ben here, Joel.
Yep.
We'll catch you next week. Warrior Nation GGs.
Adios.